Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into the fascinating neuroscience of why personal growth often feels, well, impossibly hard. If you've ever felt like you were just hitting an invisible brick wall every single time you try to change your life, stick around. Let's look at exactly what the source material has to say about it. So why do we stay stuck? I mean, it's incredibly frustrating, isn't it? You set a goal, you have the absolute best intentions, and yet somehow you find yourself repeating the exact same behavioral patterns. The sources point out that this is a super common struggle. We're talking about something that hits even the highest achievers among us. You can change your mindset, you can shift your identity, and still find yourself hitting these massive roadblocks that completely stall your growth. So what is actually going on up there? Well, here's the wild part, and really the core paradox of this entire topic. Your brain isn't actually designed to make you happy. It is biologically designed to keep you safe. Our default setting as human beings prioritizes survival and familiarity above absolutely everything else. Yes, even above our very conscious, very real desires for joy and success. Section 1. Trapped by the familiar. This brings us to a concept called predictive processing. Simply put, this is your brain's mechanism of constantly interpreting the present or predicting the future based strictly on your past experiences. Think of your brain essentially as a giant prediction machine. It is constantly trying to recreate the familiar because to your brain, familiar equals safe, period. So what does predictive processing look like in action? Well, it means dating the exact same type of unavailable person over and over. It means feeling mysteriously capped at the exact same income level year after year. It means recreating past experiences and traumas in your present life. If you constantly attract partners you just can't trust, it isn't because you're unworthy of love, no. It's simply because that specific dynamic is what your brain recognizes. Your brain is just running a past script. Okay, so let's map out exactly what happens when you actually try to make a positive shift, like switching careers or finally starting that business. Step 1, you make the leap. Step 2, you enter unknown territory. And step 3, your brain immediately triggers a physical panic mode. You know that heavy feeling in your chest? The endless rumination about every single thing that could possibly go wrong? That is not a sign that you are incapable. That is literally just your brain resisting the unknown because it wasn't designed for risk. It just wants you back in the safe zone. Which brings us to section 2, the ghost in the machine. Enter the default mode network, or the DMN for short. Interestingly, this is exactly where our identity lives. You can think of the DMN as the ultimate vault for your personality. It holds all your I am statements. Whether you tell yourself, I am an extrovert, or I'm lazy and I never finish what I start, those deeply held stories are on repeat every single day inside this network, quietly governing all your daily actions. The source material shares a really great anecdote about a creator trying to build a brand on social media. She had this constant internal narrative playing. I'm too shy. I can't get in front of the camera. What if people judge me? Every single time she tried to post, her mind and body literally screamed at her to stop, telling her to just put it off until tomorrow. That right there, that is the default mode network, fighting tooth and nail to protect the old familiar identity. It's actively fighting against the new version of yourself that you are trying so hard to build. And that leads to this massive, exhausting internal battle. Your conscious mind is awake. It's taking action. It wants the dream car, the mansion, the six-pack abs, the new career. But your subconscious mind, where that DMN lives, might be holding on to beliefs like, you're unlovable, or I'm lazy, or it just won't work. And here is the kicker. Even if you consciously take action, like going to the gym or posting a video, if your subconscious fundamentally believes you are unworthy, you will eventually fall off and revert to your old self. The subconscious is always going to override the conscious mind because it is so deeply rooted and dominant. All right, section 3, hacking your own reality. Okay, deep breath, because here is the ultimate loophole in our brain's programming. The brain cannot actually tell the difference between a real experience happening in your everyday life and a vividly imagined one. Because your subconscious mind is awake even when you quiet your conscious mind, tools like visualization and meditation are incredibly powerful. They allow you to tap directly into that storage vault we talked about, and you can literally start planting new memories before they even happen physically. The sources highlight a fascinating real-world example of this. A creator set a massive goal of landing a TEDx talk. They noted, "I had never spoken on stage once, but I visualized it over and over again." By vividly painting that exact picture in meditation, she trained her brain and body to believe that the memory of speaking on stage already existed. When you do this, you completely bypass the brain's resistance to the unknown. Why? Because to the brain, it's not unknown anymore. You've already lived it. Now, visualizing isn't just about feeling good. It physically changes what you are able to see in the world around you. This is all thanks to the reticular activating system, or RAS. This is your brain's filtration system. It determines exactly which real-world information gets noticed based entirely on your internal focus. So your internal focus literally dictates the physical reality you perceive. To really wrap our heads around this, consider the number 11 million. That is the staggering amount of stimuli hitting our senses every single second. 11 million pieces of data, literally competing for your attention right now. But out of those 11 million stimuli, get this, we only filter in and process 40 to 50 bits per second. That's it, 40 to 50. And what makes up those 50 tiny bits? It is entirely dictated by what your RAS deems important, based on your current beliefs and what you're focusing on. Let's put that into perspective. This means two people can walk into the exact same room surrounded by the exact same 11 million stimuli. One person's brain is focused on lack and scarcity, so their 40 to 50 bits of processed data are going to highlight rising gas prices, economic crashes, and all the reasons they shouldn't spend money. But the other person, the one whose brain is focused on abundance, their filter might spot a $10,000 business opportunity sitting right there in the exact same environment. You create your life based on your beliefs, not what you physically see, because your brain will absolutely always show you more of what you focus on. So how do we fix it? The sources outline a really practical 3-step process to shift this filter. First, notice the panic. Become consciously aware when your body goes into that fear response over a new goal. Just observe it. Second, regulate your nervous system. You actually have to catch your body up to the changes. Use breath work, try humming, just find ways to calm that physical response down. And third, vividly visualize the new reality. Reprogram that subconscious belief so your brain starts recognizing your new goal as familiar, completely safe, and entirely possible. Moving on to our final part, Section 4, the power of perspective. At the end of the day, true happiness is caused by your perspective on things, not the things themselves. The meaning that you choose to place on people, situations, and events will literally make or break your life. How you interpret setbacks dictates your overall confidence and your daily life experience. Think about what happens when things inevitably go wrong. A job loss, a bad breakup, or maybe a video you worked hard on barely gets any views. Ask yourself, do you use that event as concrete proof that you can't change? Do you make it mean something inherently bad about yourself, telling yourself, people just don't like me, or I have no idea what I'm doing? Or do you consciously choose to separate your self-worth from that outcome? Do you choose to place a positive meaning on it simply to make yourself feel good and to keep moving forward? Which brings us to the absolute most important question you can ask yourself. What meaning will you choose to place on your next failure? You now know that your brain just wants to keep you in the familiar, that your subconscious can absolutely be rewritten, and that your focus dictates your reality. You literally have the manual overrides now. So, the next time you hit a roadblock, remember, it is not proof you're stuck. It is just an opportunity to tell your brain a brand new story. Thanks so much for learning with me today on The Explainer.